welcome to God's Grace on Thee. Today I would like to talk about the epidemic of missing children. And we can go back into history and find that this has been taking place continuously. However, back in the early days, they would profile a child's face and a description on milk cartons. And from there, it went on into the Amber Alerts, and then from there, I think that's where we're at right now. 2,000 children go missing per day in the United States alone. That's every 800,000 kids who vanish every year. So being a parent and knowing that statistic, or even thinking about what those poor children must have experienced, is horrific. Proof after proof is being exposed to us that there is a global human child traffic ring, that it's a multi-billion-dollar business, 98 billion to be exact. So you heard that correctly, 98 billion. That's more than the sports and music industry combined. And the elite that are involved, they continuously go almost completely unnoticed by the media. It's never reported. If you go to, according to the National Center for Missing Exploited Children, the NCMEC, both the figures and the context of those figures are important in understanding the actual scope of the missing children, trafficking, and all other related issues. So just to be clear, folks, these are just kids that are reported missing. Now we're talking about those children who are never reported. And some are reported because they do belong in a family and they are missed. But there's others that are being taken out from other means and other sources. And it's those children that are totally forgotten about because there is no name attached. There is nothing that's attached to that child that will make even consider looking for them, okay? So I just want to clarify that because the figures that I gave you from just now does not represent the rest of the children that are actually stolen. So there was a page in the NCMEC that explained as follows: when a child is reported missing to law enforcement, federal law requires that child be entered into the FBI's National Crime Information Center, also known as the NCIC. So according to the FBI, in 2019, there were 421,394 NCIC entries for missing children. In 2018, the total number of missing children entries into NCIC was the 424,066. But this number represents reports of the just only missing children. That means if a child runs away multiple times in a year, each instant would be entered into NCIC separately and counted in the yearly total. Likewise, if an entry is withdrawn and amended or updated, that would also be reflected in the total. So I just want to bring that to your attention that this is been going on under your feet, under the radar for eons. And what they're doing to the children is horrific. If there's anything that is evil in this world, multiply that by 1,000, and that's what these kids are faced with. And it has to stop, as it states in our Bible. We also see in Mark chapter 9, 33 to 37. At the same time came the disciples unto Jesus, saying, Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And Jesus called a little child unto him, and set him in the midst of them, and said, Verily I say unto you, except ye be converted, and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And whoso shall receive one such little child in my name, receiveth me. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones, which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged around his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea. It also states in the Bible that we enter into heaven in a childlike fashion. And the reason why we're in a childlike fashion, because he is our Father. So it's kind of a respect. It doesn't matter how old you are, you still respect your moms and dads. And that's basically the same way it is in heaven, right? That's the way it should be anyway. But we find that we have been fallen onto an earth that is literally filled with Satan. Because when Lucifer wronged God, God cast him to earth, and his fallen angels went down with. So they're the ones that's ruling this world. And so all this evil that you see that's literally being pushed in front of your eyes is here. It's here, it's happening now. There's a movie out, it's called The Sound of Freedom. It's a movie that took 5 years in the making. It's a movie that was written and directed by Alejandro Monteverde. And it stars Jim Caviezel, Myra Sorvino, and Bill Kemp. Now this is based on a true story, and Caviezel plays Tim Ballard, who is a former government agent turned vigilante who embarks on a mission to rescue children from the sex traffickers in Colombia. Now this is one of many millions of children who go missing all over the world, but they concentrate on this particular incident. So if you can only imagine in your mind's eye and take yourself out of the fact that you're watching a movie, and think about the children and what emotions that they're experiencing when they are being taken and abused and used. Sold, continuously sold. These children are sold 10 to 20 times a day. And then they continuously use them up until a certain age. And once that is, then they're used for other purposes. So it's a generation of money. It's just a money-making machine from monsters that live right here next to us. It might be your next door neighbor. It could be a family member. There are a lot of pedophiles. Pedophile is running amok in our world. Not just here in the United States, but all over the world. And it's, like I say, it's a $98 billion operation that's taking place. So I'm encouraging all of you to please, this movie shows just that one sequence of events that I said that it takes to save 2 children's lives from pet predators. But I'm encouraging all of you folks, grandparents, moms, dads, aunts, uncles, friends, and all your children, educate them and please protect them. This is important, folks. And if it's going to take, if it happened to you, wouldn't you want others to come to your aid? Well, what about these children? We need to come to their aid, and the way we need to do that is to start waking up everybody, because they're not showing this on mainstream media. Because they're all a part of that. It's a club, and you're not in it. And God says it's time to stop this. Stop harming the children. Okay, folks, so please share this and let your family members know. I'm sure most of the people that are awakened, to what's going on in this world, understand that. But for those that don't, please, I ask that you share. Okay, love and blessings.